As the dark sky venerable left, only LuoFeng's 5 avatars remained in the skies above the Eater King's capital. No one is coming to contend anymore. LuoFeng's power of the world enveloped the entire territory of the Shi Kingdom, and he detected no other powerful beings infiltrating it. The power I displayed this time was just right, not posing a threat as overwhelming as the Earth God King or the Mother River Master. Yet the emperors and monarchs would need to weigh their options carefully if they want to confront me, LuoFeng thought. If LuoFeng had been a God King ultimate realm will, controlling the 24 forms with his 5 avatars to burst forth such power would indeed have been his limit, and he certainly couldn't compete with emperors and monarchs. It's time to claim the entire territory of the Shi Kingdom. LuoFeng also knew that taking over and managing such a vast territory was no easy task. Fortunately, over the long years, the Blade River Sect had nurtured a multitude of disciples. Now, it was time for these disciples to take charge of the expansive territories. LuoFeng's 5 avatars also vanished. Chu capital. Marquis Chu Yu hosted a lavish banquet, with many marquises, guest elders and godly king disciples from Emperor Chu's lineage in attendance. Brother Luo, he is my life and death brother, Marquis Chu Yu said from the head of the table, raising his wine cup. We both started from humble beginnings back in Huyang City, when I was still an eternal true god. He too was an eternal true god. Later we both came to Chu capital, and the first guest elder I had was Brother Luo He. Marquis Chu Yu boasted. The surrounding marquises, guest elders and godly king disciples lavished their praises as well. This is destiny. Luo He God King truly is remarkable. Initially he was the unparalleled transcendent of the Primal Chaos Realm, then he became the invincible first realm of godly king, and now even just one of his avatars is enough to rival one of the 6 leaders of the Destruction Army, the Dark Sky Venerable. Such natural talent is truly enviable. These beings from the Primal Chaos Realm, whether they were marquises from the Imperial clan or guest elders, all envied him immensely. Perhaps some powerful god kings from the Imperial clan could still maintain their pride before Luo Feng. But these Imperial clan marquises had no pride left, only looking up to him in absolute respect. After all, Luo He God King was only a step away from the emperors and monarchs. Of course, this step was as formidable as a chasm in the heavens. Brother Luo He is Brother Luo He and I am me, sighed Marquis Chu Yu. I can't even grasp the branches of the great Tao filled with endless confusion. Brother Chu Yu's time in cultivation is still short. We believe that you will definitely become a godly king in the future, the guest flattered. Now, amongst the many marquises of the 13 lines of the Imperial clan, Marquis Chu Yu had a far-reaching reputation. After all, he had a good brother Luo He God King, so even ordinary god kings from the Imperial clan dared not treat him lightly. The powerful god kings of the Imperial clan had pride, but ordinary god kings who had been trapped in the first realm of godly king for a long time were not valued within the clan, receiving fewer resources. These ordinary god kings also thought about making connections with Luo He. God King, Emperor Chu Yu is currently entertaining guests. This time one of Luo He's avatars proved capable of rivaling one of the 6 leaders of the Destruction Army, the Dark Sky Venerable, and it has really brought Emperor Chu Yu quite a few benefits. A tall and thin elder spoke. Speaking of which, you also have connections with Luo He. You helped to secure a guest elder position for Luo He back then. God King Chu Ying smiled. At that time, giving Luo He a guest elder position was considered by Marquis Chu Ying to be the most astute decision. LuoFeng thereby owed God King Chu Ying a great favor. The stronger LuoFeng's power grew, the more valuable this favor became. With Brother Luo He's rate of growth, he may reach even greater heights in the future, God King Chu Ying said, knowing his own limits. He had spent such a long time becoming a God King, and he knew the journey ahead would only get harder. Thus he needed support. The rules within the Imperial clan were strict, with each God King having a corresponding resource quota. As for the 13 emperors apart from Emperor Qing, the other emperors all owed the Imperial clan an immense debt of wealth. They simply couldn't help God King Chu Ying much. This favor should be kept for as long as possible, the longer the better. God King Chu Ying also had patience, naturally using the resources of the Imperial clan to improve himself as much as possible. When there's no further progress to be made, completely stuck at a bottleneck, then seek external assistance. In Liu City within the king's palace, Liu God King, one of the 5 god kings of the Shi Kingdom who didn't flee, was feeling uneasy as she waited. Liu God King suddenly saw an invisible force converging, forming the figure of Luo Feng, who was calmly looking at her. Now, with the entire territory of the Shi Kingdom enveloped by the power of the world, Luo Feng naturally condensed an avatar in a thought. Liu pays respects to Luo He God King, Liu God King said with the utmost respect as she bowed. Kufeng God King has moved his kin and fled away. Yet you stayed here and didn't leave, Luo Feng looked at her. Liu God King said helplessly, my kin have been thriving for countless years, rooted deeply in this land, and moving them is too difficult. That was why we joined the Shi Kingdom in the first place, and now I hope that Luo He God King will take us in. I am willing to serve Luo He God King. Luo Feng understood well. Liu God King's kin, with their long and storied history, were comparable to the gene state of his teacher, the mountain-sitting guest, with a vast kin spread across numerous large cities and even many wilderness tribes. If one's heart is hard enough, she thought, one could simply migrate the elite of the tribe away. But the Liu God King cared deeply about the entire tribe. Whether it was the original decision to join the Eater King's capital or now to serve Luo Feng, it was all for the sake of the tribe. Alright, but your fiefdom only consists of 5 Primal Chaos prefectures. Luo Feng looked at her. With numerous avatars and the power of the world that could envelop the entire territory in a thought, whether he had a godly king under his command was not important to Luo Feng. The Liyu God King was slightly startled and respectfully replied, "Yes, I am willing to reduce my fiefdom to 5 Primal Chaos prefectures, but I hope that countless creatures within the original Liu country can be spared from large-scale captures. I'm not the Emperor of Tianquan who needs to consume countless creatures," Luo Feng said as he looked at her. "In all the territories under my command, large-scale captures of countless creatures are prohibited. Cultivators' normal battles and slaughters, even clan annihilations among some wilderness tribes, Luo Feng would not mind. But systematic capturing of countless creatures as food like the Emperor of Tianquan did was strictly forbidden by Luo Feng. After the bloodline transformation of Moyu Qingyan, the godly body also needed transformation and growth. During his seclusion, the Blade River Sect began the largest-scale recruitment of disciples since its establishment. The initial disciple selection took place simultaneously in every major city of the 155 Primal Chaos prefectures governed by the Blade River Sect. As long as one passed the initial selection, they would become a common disciple of the Blade River Sect. Afterwards, these disciples would be sent to Huyang City together, where a more stringent selection at the sect headquarters would pick out the more elite core disciples. Only the core disciples were qualified to cultivate at the headquarters in Huyang City. The vast majority of common disciples would cultivate at the branch locations. Above the core disciples, a very few dazzling prodigies would be selected, with the hope of becoming disciples under the sect master Luo He God King, and becoming registered disciples of Luo He God King. As for being a direct disciple of Luo He God King, it would depend on fate. Since its establishment, Luo He God King had 2 direct disciples. One was the elder disciple Moyu Qingyan, who had followed the God King since the Eternal True God stage, and the other was the younger disciple Yu, who was chosen when the Blade River Sect was first established. Blade River Sect, main hall of the sect headquarters. Sect Master Luo Feng sat high in the main hall, flanked by Yuan, Morosa, Yu, and Liu God King. Liu God King was now a guest elder of the Blade River Sect. Inside the hall there were 32 registered disciples. These registered disciples should be the high-ranking members of the entire sect. Each registered disciple had significant authority and was responsible for many affairs of the sect. Qingyan. Luo Feng sat high in the hall, smiling at his eldest disciple. Moyu Qingyan was very excited. The master was so powerful and the disciple felt immense pressure. Especially with a group of extremely talented registered disciples, each aiming to become the next second younger brother Yu, and reach the Primal Chaos Realm. One could imagine the pressure Moyu Qingyan faced as the eldest brother in the sect. "From today onwards, you are the 4th elder of our Blade River Sect. I grant you a set of secret treasures, 10 billion cosmic sand, and 10 treasures to aid in your cultivation," Luo Feng said with a smile, waving his hand and bestowing a whole set of supreme-grade Primal Chaos Realm weapons secret treasures, a green jade vial and a black jade vial. The treasures given to the eldest and the second disciples were of equal value but different types. The items granted to the second disciple Yu were mainly to aid in cultivation, as Yu had great potential and was expected to become a godly king. The items given to the eldest disciple Moyu Qingyan were focused on enhancing strength and protection since, as a pathway of bloodline reaching the Primal Chaos Realm, Luo Feng no longer expected him to become a godly king. "Thank you, master." Moyu Qingyan respectfully received it. The master is still stingy. The items for Qingyan and for Yu, they are of equal value. Morosa sat aside thinking to himself, "The treasures I gave to Qingyan are much more than what the master provided." Nowadays, the 155 territories governed by the Blade River Sect were under the core charge of Morosa and Yuan, and they naturally divided many resources and benefits among themselves, receiving resources comparable to the previous God Kings of the Shi Kingdom. Luo Feng treated all his disciples equally. Morosa, however, was completely biased towards Moyu Qingyan. As the celebration dispersed, "Congratulations, elder brother. Big brother." The registered disciples all came to congratulate Moyu Qingyan, knowing well that the elder brother was viewed differently by the higher-ups of the sect, as he had followed the master from much earlier. After the celebration dispersed, Morosa also sought out Luo Feng. "Master, there's no more food." Morosa looked at Luo Feng. "When can we get some formidable food? I also wish to break through soon." "Formidable food, that's not easy to find," Luo Feng laughed. "I'm working on it." Morosa obediently nodded. He also yearned to advance further and fully reach the ultimate realm. By then he could act covertly. As for now, according to LuoFeng's instructions, using the sector beast power in the outside world was absolutely forbidden before reaching the ultimate realm. "You are still too weak now. Once exposed, it would bring big trouble," LuoFeng said. "After your breakthrough we can do many things. Owning a complete great Tao of ultimate realm, his methods would be much more mysterious than those of emperors and monarchs. For example, in terms of isolating cause and effect, perfect completion of the great Tao could perfectly isolate causality. By then, when he acted, even the investigations of the 2 ancient countries would become 100, 1,000 times more difficult. Hiding, escaping, curse killing, cooperating against enemies. Morosa could help him in all these aspects. I have been enduring ever since I came to the land of origin, Morosa said. Haha. Luo Feng laughed. After Luo Feng occupied the territory of the Shi Kingdom, the first gathering in the Reincarnation Tower took place. Haha, Luo He's talent is truly extraordinary. Now, in our Reincarnation Tower, Luo He's strength is second only to Wind City and the Earth God King. The great Freedom Sovereign laughed. The Wind City Empress sat there, smiling without speaking. When Luo Feng was in the Primal Chaos Realm, she had actively invited him and time had proven her insight. Yes, without realizing it, he has become stronger than me, Emperor Guisu sighed. This is the gap in talent. I just have more avatars, Luo Feng added. Clone technique, it's a formidable approach, Wuxing God King remarked from the side. Guisu and I, if we also had several powerful avatars, each capable of maintaining the strength of our original selves, the deterrence would naturally be different. The two ancient countries would probably not dare push us too far. Yes, at the level of Luo He, even if he is more aggressive and domineering, the two ancient countries wouldn't easily take action, Black Fire Demon Lord also said. Among the members of the Reincarnation Tower, apart from Cloud Sky God King, who was still in the first realm of Godly King, the others, Great Freedom Sovereign Black Fire Demon Lord King Tiandu, Emperor Guisu and Wuxing God King, all of them were at the peak of the second realm of Godly King. But none of them had the ability to directly oppose an emperor or monarch. Like the boat master of the time-space lonely boat Pu Xian, and the publicly recognized Luo He God King, their bursting strength was also at the peak of the second level of God King realm. But they had the strength to confront an emperor. That boat master, the highest achiever of the time path, in Land of Origin, stood there, letting emperors and monarchs attack him. Even if his current body was annihilated, his future body or past body could repair his current body. The boat master had enmity with the Lord of 10,000 Realms, who controlled the complete Great Tao, and yet he was untouchable. Pu Xian was even more mysterious. Each time he appeared, it was through a spiritual body. Only soul-based or spiritual will-based techniques could injure him, neither emperors nor monarchs could do anything against him. Luo Feng, however, had multiple avatars and each avatar was extremely tough. His physical body felt stronger than many primordial bloodline creatures of the second realm of Godly King, almost comparable to one lord from the Destruction Army. One avatar alone gave emperors and monarchs a headache, let alone the uncertain number of Luo Feng's avatars. Boat Master, Pu Xian, Luo He, their strong survival abilities indeed made the other peaks of the second realm of Godly King envious. One avatar of Luo He is comparable to one lord of the Destruction Army. If 7 or 8 avatars joined forces, wouldn't that be comparable to the entire Destruction Army? Exclaimed the great Freedom Sovereign. The Luo He God King is merciful, the Liyu God King rejoiced. You will work with Yuan, Luo and Xianyu to take charge of receiving the entire Eater King's capital territory. Luo Feng waved his hand and 20 names appeared in front of him. These 20 Primal Chaos Realm cultivators, if they are willing, can continue to govern their original fiefdoms. All other Primal Chaos Realm cultivators must be expelled. Luo Feng had reviewed the Primal Chaos Realm cultivators from the Eater King's capital and deemed that only 20 were worth recruiting. As for the others who had long followed the 3 kings of the Eater King's capital, their styles were similar. Luo Feng knew they were just following orders, but still did not bother to take them in. Yes, the Liyu God King respectfully took the order. Receiving the entire Eater King's capital territory involved many aspects. The handover of various cities, various assets, some places that nurtured heaven and earth's treasures, numerous mines in the wilderness, some artifact refining, alchemy and other industry chains. The handover was complicated. The entire reception task was primarily handled by Yuan and Morosa, with assistance from the second disciple Xianyu and the Liu God King. The Blade River Sect's many disciples were responsible for specific duties. At the same time, LuoFeng's power of the world enveloped the entire territory, aiding in the completion of the reception. Because the power of the world enwrapped everything, none of the actions of all the powers, large or small, within the territory could escape LuoFeng's notice. At first, there were some greedy individuals who wanted to take a great amount of treasures and resources away, but after LuoFeng severely punished them, destroying 3 Primal Chaos Realm cultivators, everyone promptly became much more docile. Of course, LuoFeng only destroyed the Primal Chaos Realm true bodies and took all their treasures, expelling them from the territory without completely annihilating them. However, this punishment still frightened all the various powers within the territory and also made the subsequent reception go much smoother. Enjoy new chapters from Empire. Master, the reception is essentially completed, but there have been quite a few losses during the handover process, Morosa respectfully reported. Losses? LuoFeng looked at him. Those Primal Chaos Realm cultivators were expelled, and they took their families and subordinates with them, Morosa reported. Their families were previously in charge of many industries, and suddenly without so many leaders, a lot of businesses could no longer operate. These losses were unavoidable. LuoFeng nodded. Many of the elites from previous cities were direct subordinates or even family members of the Primal Chaos Realm cultivators. Their expulsion indeed had a significant impact. The impact is temporary, LuoFeng said. After the reception tasks are handled properly, discuss with Yuan and prepare for the next large-scale recruitment of disciples by Blade River Sect. This time the scale should be at least 10 times that of the past. Such a large scale? Morosa's eyes lit up. With countless citizens across the 135 Primal Chaos prefectures of the Eater King's capital territory, who have suffered for long years, this large-scale recruitment of disciples can be considered a great opportunity for cultivators, Luo Feng explained. Morosa nodded. As master and servant were talking, they suddenly turned their heads toward the direction of the Blade River Sect's base. Has Qingyan broken through? Morosa showed a look of surprise. He actually broke through faster than I anticipated. Luo Feng also smiled. In the quiet room of Moyu Qingyan's cave mansion within Blade River Sect, Moyu Qingyan had always longed for a breakthrough. He had followed Luo Feng from the very beginning in the land of origin, receiving careful guidance from Morosa, and later, advice from Yuan. As Luo Feng's status rose higher and higher, as his only direct disciple, the resources he received were the best. Even Morosa secretly shared some resources that he managed to obtain with Moyu Qingyan. Junior brother Xanyu has broken through and become a Primal Chaos Realm cultivator. Master has also taken in a group of registered disciples, many of whose talents are above mine. As the eldest senior disciple of Blade River Sect, the pressure on Moyu Qingyan was naturally enormous. The only thing he could do was to be even more diligent. Consulting with Yuan, consulting with second Master Luo Sa, and even thickening his skin to consult with Master Luo He. Master rarely gave guidance, but every time he did, Moyu Qingyan would study every word said by the master, ponder it 100, 1,000 times over. Me? Moyu Qingyan felt the transformation of his bloodline within him, though he did not yet fully understand, he could already control the primal chaos laws. I've broken through, my bloodline has transformed. Moyu Qingyan's eyes brimmed with tears of excitement. Finally he had broken through. As the second one under his master's guidance to become Primal Chaos Realm. Although he was only a Primal Chaos Realm cultivator through the bloodline path. Luo Feng's avatar in the dream domain usually stayed in its outer layer, where the impact on the spiritual will was weakest. At the moment, a weaker avatar scouted ahead while a more powerful avatar followed behind. This powerful avatar possessed 1% of the energy reserves of a world life body Estru body. Phew. Luo Feng's two avatars silently hastened through various independent spaces and finally reached the deeper areas of the dream domain. The deep layer of the dream domain. Luo Feng became even more cautious. In previous long years, Luo Feng had already explored the deep layer of the dream domain. Here, even an ordinary life form possessed the strength of Emperor Guisu, and some leaders were even at the Emperor's level, making crises common. The Wanfa Tower Master is also looking for me? Luo Feng paused, momentarily stopping his advance. The battle for the territories of the Shi Kingdom thoroughly proved Luo Feng's strength. Although Land of Origin was full of strong individuals, the power Luo Feng had publicly displayed was already one of the strongest below the Emperor level. Following the Time-Space Demon, the Wanfa Tower Master also personally visited Luo Feng, offering similar terms. The Wanfa Tower Master is truly as rumored, quite friendly towards us native cultivators, thought Luo Feng. Among the three alien races, the Two Realms Palace Master was domineering, the Time-Space Demon was unscrupulous, and the Wanfa Tower Master was compassionate and merciful. The Wanfa Tower Master was even willing to instruct many godly kings in their cultivation. The four treasures, they value the first two the most. Special life remnants and secret techniques, thought Luo Feng after talking with the Wanfa Tower Master, as his avatar in the dream domain continued to move forward. Special life remnants, there are only two places where they exist. The dark area of the dream domain and the deepest part of the Heavenly Pillar Realm. Since the Heavenly Pillar Realm is completely sealed, finding special life remnants is only possible in the dark area of the dream domain. The Heavenly Pillar Realm was heavily guarded by the two ancient countries, and Luo Feng had no confidence in confronting these two great powers alone. The sealing of the Heavenly Pillar Realm must have been a joint decision by the ancestors of the two ancient countries. So, after a long time, Luo Feng finally arrived at the very end of the deep layers of the dream domain. Up ahead is the dark area. Luo Feng looked at the expanse of darkness ahead, where only his spiritual will could probe. Enter. With a thought. The weaker avatar entered first while the powerful avatar waited a while before following. In the dark area, an invisible, terrifying force enveloped Luo Feng's spiritual will, continuously dragging at his spiritual will. If Luo Feng could not resist, he would completely sink into a dreamy slumber. Experience exclusive tales on my virtual library empire. I need to use about 50 to 60% of my heart force to resist the influence of the dark area, thought Luo Feng. His spiritual consciousness explored the surroundings. The surrounding darkness was incredibly oppressive. Even Luo Feng's beyond God King level spiritual consciousness could only probe around tens of thousands of kilometers. Puff. The weaker avatar scouting ahead suddenly flashed with a beam of light, instantly piercing through the avatar. Luo Feng's weaker avatar was obliterated in an instant. However, thanks to the super strong life force of the 24 forms life form, it was momentarily restored from nothingness, but just as it was regaining some form, the light flashed again and once more obliterated Luo Feng's weaker avatar. I saw it, said Luo Feng's weaker avatar upon recovering when it clearly saw the appearance of the light. It was a weapon resembling a silver shuttle. It was just too fast. Within Luo Feng's probing range of tens of thousands of kilometers, a flash of light meant an inevitable hit. So that silver shuttle-like weapon attacks twice and my weaker avatar is gone? Luo Feng was shocked. this weaker avatar of mine, although low in energy, is still a 24 forms life form. Compared to the powerful avatar in the 10 directions world form, it isn't much weaker. Even an emperor should be able to withstand 2 or 3 strikes. Carefully Luo Feng proceeded forward. He didn't deploy another weaker avatar, for within the range of tens of thousands of kilometers, discovering an enemy meant a sure hit. Phew. In the dark area, as Luo Feng continued his exploration, the ground was made of a strange black metal endlessly encrusted with secret patterns. Walking on this black metallic ground, Luo Feng continued to search for the special life remnants. Luo Feng suddenly shuddered. At the boundary of the tens of thousands of kilometers his spiritual will could observe, a light flashed suddenly, and that light had already pierced through Luo Feng's body. The speed was too fast for Luo Feng to respond in any other way. However, this avatar contained 1% energy reserves, equivalent to 30% of a perfect divine body reserve. The energy was vigorous and the body was resilient. This beam of light, though it pierced through Luo Feng's body, his body rapidly recovered. One strike, obliterating about 1/10,000th of my energy reserve? Luo Feng thought as his robe spread out into a massive river, transforming into a vast, surging silver river. The vast silver river enveloped the surroundings. Luo Feng stood at the center of the silver river. Swoosh. The silver light flashed. It attacked from beyond the boundary of Luo Feng's observation range. In a flash, it pierced through the obstructing vast silver river and also through Luo Feng's body, then flew out from the other end of the observation boundary. No way to block, no way to entangle, I can only take the hit. Luo Feng realized the disparity. It's too fast, so fast that at the moment it's launched, time seems to stop. This silver light, in a moment when time stopped, crossed tens of thousands of kilometers. I want to influence the surrounding celestial rules. Even using a bulky body to obstruct is impossible. In an instant Luo Feng was at a loss. The native life forms of the dream domain were immune to all attacks on the spiritual will, and Luo Feng's spiritual will attack had no effect whatsoever on this silver shuttle. His most powerful move, Great Extinction Style, hadn't even started before the opponent's light attacked, crossing from one end of the observation boundary to the other. Luo Feng couldn't even lock onto the target. How to fight? Luo Feng felt befuddled. This silver shuttle, although it seemed to use a simple maneuver, moving back and forth with just one move, it was more terrifying than most emperors. Thank goodness my body has a strong recovery ability, Luo Feng thought. Each time 1/10,000th of his energy reserve was eradicated, the eradicated energy would quickly reintegrate and recover most of it. Swoosh. 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 Suddenly 6 beams of light flashed and instantly traversed the area Luo Feng was crossing. During this attack the silver shuttle creatures did not pause. They continuously shuttled back and forth, ferociously slaughtering. 6 silver shuttle creatures? Luo Feng's face changed and he immediately turned and fled without hesitation. However, in terms of speed he was far slower than these eerie silver shuttles. Luo Feng had barely sprinted for over a dozen breaths of time. The 6 silver shuttle creatures had madly besieged and slaughtered him over 20,000 times. Phew. Luo Feng narrowly escaped from the dark area and returned to the deeper area. The 6 silver shuttle creatures did not chase him any further. Many treasured places in your land of origin contain some exotic treasures worth well over 10 billion merit points. Those exotic treasures worth more than 10 billion merit points are also what I need, the time-space demon said. Again it will be a fair trade. Luo Feng was startled. The Tianhe, the Dream Domain, the Heavenly Pillar Realm, and other such treasured places all produced exotic treasures. But an exotic treasure worth over 10 billion merit points. These were the legendary treasures Luo Feng had never seen. Such treasures are something any power would seek to acquire regardless of the cost. If you obtain any of these 4 types of treasures, you can trade them with me and we can discuss the terms, the time-space demon said smilingly. You can also compare offers with the Wanfa Tower Master and the Two Realms Palace Master to see who gives you a better deal. I never coerce anyone into a trade. Haha, my techniques are not powerful enough to break through the limits of the Primal Chaos Realm, nor do I have the right to coerce you, the time-space demon continued. But it is different with the ancestors of the ancient countries. If you get your hands on something precious, the ancestors of the ancient countries may personally step in to seize your treasure. Luo Feng nodded. Don't let the 2 ancient countries affect you too much, to the point of harboring great hostility against us, the time-space demon warned. We are cultivators too, just from other source worlds. When it comes down to it, I'm actually envious of you. The time-space demon looked at Luo Feng. Your source world has Yuan watching over you, and Yuan left you a transmission pathway. As long as one attains the status of an ultimate realm life form, they can withstand the pressure of the transmission pathway and head out into the vast cosmos to explore and adventure. Transmission pathway? Only ultimate realm life forms can pass through it? My homeland is different. In my homeland source world, there is no transmission pathway, the time-space demon lamented. I went through 3 reincarnation eras in my source world before I comprehended the method to breach through worlds by transmission, allowing my avatar to journey to other source worlds. By using their transmission pathways, I finally ventured into the greater universe. I have also encountered the 2 ancestors from your land of origin. They are life and death friends who adventured and tempered themselves together. I've even had conflicts with them, ha. We are all groping in the dark, often facing terrifying dangers. The time-space demon gazed at Luo Feng. One day we might truly perish. The time-space demon looked at Luo Feng. I came to the land of origin to seek more opportunities to gain more strength just to survive in the face of peril. Perhaps in the future when you leave the land of origin, we will meet again. So there's really no need to draw lines between natives and alien races. I understand, Luo Feng nodded. I have high hopes for you, the time-space demon said. With your potential, you are sure to step out of the land of origin. That's a much vaster world. If you wish to find me, simply use the causality transmission to send a message, the time-space demon advised. Call out to me and I will come to you immediately. Luo Feng nodded. He indeed sensed a tenuous thread of causality, a connection between himself and the time-space demon. But this thread of causality was so vague, he could use it to send messages but couldn't tell where it led. The time-space demon took a step and was already at the horizon, then completely vanished from sight. Beyond the source world? Luo Feng murmured to himself. The time-space demon's homeland source world astonishingly had no transmission pathway. Different source worlds truly differ greatly. Dream Domain. Luo Feng had kept an avatar in the Dream Domain ever since his spiritual will broke through, and the avatar in the Dream Domain began to absorb energy with full effort. The environment of the Dream Domain is special, abundant in energy and easier to absorb, but still not as rapid as the supply of energy from a small universe. Today the avatar in the Dream Domain had an energy reserve that was roughly 5% of the world life body's true body. From what the time-space demon said, it appears that the special treasures and innate secret treasures are only produced in the Dream Domain and the Heavenly Pillar Realm. Luo Feng realized the uniqueness of these two places. Special life remnants, only the dark area of the Dream Domain has them. Only those whose spiritual will is beyond God King level could barely enter the dark area. Exploring there is much harder than in the Heavenly Pillar Realm. The Dream Domain is far more treacherous. Forget the dark area, even the strong cultivators of the land of origin, like emperors and monarchs, dare not venture into the deep layers, because once inside they might lose control. On the contrary, the environment of the Heavenly Pillar Realm is much safer, a better place for emperors and monarchs. Thus, they completely sealed off the Heavenly Pillar Realm. As for the dark area of the Dream Domain, I have not ventured there yet, Luo Feng thought to himself, and immediately sent a weaker avatar off towards the dark area of the Dream Domain. The Dream Domain is divided into the outer layer area, middle layer area, deep layer area, and dark area. The strong cultivators of the land of origin primarily treasure hunt in the middle layer area. Sightings of them in the deep layer area are scarce. As for the dark area, it's a rarity for anyone to enter. This is the power of cultivating multiple paths, the Earth God King stated. Luo He cultivating the paths of life, matter and destruction, each to the level of the second realm of Godly King. Supporting each other, his means are naturally powerful. He is the only one in the entire land of origin to reach the second realm in 3 paths. We who cultivate just one path are indeed far behind, Black Fire Demon Lord lamented. One path, if you reach the ultimate realm, you would also be formidable, Wuxing God King replied with a smile. Envy was of no use. Godly kings generally focus on one path. Cultivating multiple paths is even harder. There are only a few in land origin who can reach the Godly King level in 2 paths. 3 paths, all at the second realm of Godly King? Currently there is none. Indeed, Luo Feng cultivates 3 paths, life, destruction and life and death. However, he has yet to reach the second realm in the life and death path. During the gathering, everyone chatted casually. Cloud Sky God King was the weakest present. She also longed for a breakthrough with the uniqueness of her primordial bloodline. If she could reach the second realm of Godly King, her deterrent power would immediately skyrocket to a terrifying level. When will I reach the second realm of Godly King? In the Reincarnation Tower, the other 8 members are all at the second realm of Godly King, Cloud Sky God King thought. Brother Blackfire, the complete corpse of a second realm of Godly King primordial bloodline creature, can you get one? Luo Feng inquired from Blackfire Demon Lord. A complete corpse? Blackfire Demon Lord looked at Luo Feng. That's tough. Even Thunder Ancient Country generally only sells a refined portion of the primordial bloodline. At most they sell some incomplete corpses. It's only occasionally that they refine a portion of the primordial bloodline. The incomplete corpses available for sale are very few. We must wait for the right opportunity, Blackfire Demon Lord explained. As for a complete corpse? Haven't heard about anyone selling that. Luo Feng nodded. Complete corpses have too many uses, Blackfire Demon Lord remarked. For instance, crafting potent puppets, feeding sector beasts or using them for soul transfer. Too big a threat to the 2 ancient countries. If anyone trades with them, the 2 ancient countries would definitely investigate, checking the reasons for the purchase. Luo Feng understood. Incomplete corpses were the remnants of the refined bloodline. We need to wait for the opportunity to gather enough to transform Morosa to the ultimate realm, which might take a very long time. A complete corpse entails 2 great implications. It's not easy to make Morosa break through to the ultimate, Luo Feng silently mused. If it's just absorbing the heaven and earth energy, the pure energy, that would require an endless expanse of time. Maybe because of a pinnacle sector beast's presence, the 2 ancient countries are also very cautious in this aspect. Blackfire Demon Lord looked at Luo Feng. With Luo He's strength, he still wants a complete corpse of a primordial bloodline? Complete corpses of the second realm primordial bloodlines? There's no way, Blackfire Demon Lord confided quietly. But potentially more powerful fragmented bodies of primordial life from primordial bloodline creatures, even escaping the braided cage. There might be a way. Find adventures at my virtual library empire. Luo Feng was startled. What way? Luo Feng couldn't believe it. 3 alien races, Blackfire Demon Lord whispered. The 2 ancient countries cultivate a large number of primordial bloodline creatures, which the 2 ancestors brought back from the outside. These 3 powerful alien races could also bring some fragments of primordial life. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.